Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video tonight there is lots to negotiate about. So I am going to be giving you a bit more additional information on Jesse Lingard. Also going to be talking with you a bit more about Alexis Sanchez. I give you the news about Alexis Sanchez earlier on today, so in a way I'm going to reiterate some of the stuff I mentioned earlier on. Also going to be giving you the latest news on Jadon Sancho, because there is huge developments around him and there is lots of other things to talk about. So the first topic of the development I am going to start with is Jesse Lingard. So according to recent reports, and this is stemming from Metro, they said that Everton Football Club have expressed their interest in Jesse Lingard. Now also too, it reported from The Athletic a couple of days ago that Arsenal have expressed their interest in Jesse Lingard, because obviously Arsenal are seeing Jesse Lingard as an alternative to Dani Ceballos, because I'm very, very sceptical that Arsenal will get Dani Ceballos on a permanent transfer. It's been revealed how much it'd cost Arsenal to get Dani Ceballos on a permanent transfer, and it would cost them around £40 million. So in a way, they do have insufficient funds. But Lingard is expected to leave Manchester United anywhere in the summer. But there's been a few clubs in for him, not only Arsenal and Everton. It also said that Roma and Atletico Madrid have expressed their interest. Now, Carlo Ancelotti has revealed that, he would be interested in signing, Jesse Lingard. And at Everton, they probably plan on playing him as a central midfielder, or maybe, playing him just behind the striker, because obviously, Jesse Lingard can play in the number 10 and he can also play on the right-hand side. Now, we value Jesse Lingard at around £30 million. Now, Jesse Lingard has been so inconsistent. Obviously, Jesse Lingard, hasn't registered one goal or one assist in the Premier League for over the year. And reflects on his status at the football club, he should be putting much more better performances out. I think Jesse Lingard has got exactly a year left on his Manchester United contract, and I think he's on around £100,000 a week at the football club, is Jesse Lingard. But it's since the arrival of Bruno Fernandes that Jesse Lingard has found game time very, very difficult, and he's lost the confidence of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But he reason up our youth setup, for several years, and obviously, he had quite a few loan spells. He had a loan spell with Leicester, Birmingham, Brighton and Derby, did the player. So I can definitely see Jesse Lingard leaving Manchester United in the summer. But as Everton, I've got quite a few midfielders. Obviously, they've got Andrea Gomez. He was obviously out injured early on this season. He was out for quite a while with injury, as Andrea Gomez, but he recovered really, really well. They've also got Gylfi Sigurdsson, Everton. I haven't really watched him much at Everton. I watched him more when he was at Swansea, and Sigurdsson's goal scoring record against us when he was at Swansea, was actually, sublime. That's another midfielder they've got, Sigurdsson. So Everton, have got quite a few midfielders. So maybe, they'll be looking to get Jesse Lingard in the mix. But, Man United and Everton have done business before. Like I mentioned, we got, they got Sneijderlin offers before, didn't they? They also got Michael Keane offers, I think. So they did business with us there. Also, we got Fellaini from Everton, back in 2013 under the David Moyes era, and Fellaini endured 6 years at Man United. We paid just over £27 million for Fellaini. We also got Wayne Rooney from them back in 2004. Obviously, Wayne Rooney endured 13 years at Manchester United, and obviously he's our all-time leading goal scorer with 253 goals in all competitions and that. Don't forget, we got Lukaku from them back in 2017. We paid around £75 million for him. So yeah, Man United and Everton have done, business quite a few times with each other, but I think if Everton were willing to meet the £30 million that we was demanding, then, I think, we'll let him go to Everton. But do you think he'll continue applying his trade in the Premier League, Jesse Lingard? And reiterate what I mentioned on one of my other videos, Jesse Lingard does have a history with Arsenal. Don't forget, he scored quite a few times against them. He tends to perform quite well against the big teams, to be fair, and even Paul Pogba recently credited him for that. But, he did the Milky Rock celebration, don't forget. He also did moonwalking at the Emirates Stadium, did Jesse Lingard. But yeah, so I think the vast majority, or all United fans, do want him sold in the summer transfer window, because we don't want to let his contract run down and let him go on a free transfer. So yeah, so Everton are the recent club to be interested in Jesse Lingard. So that's the latest news on that. Now, we'll delve into the news on Alexis Sanchez. I have been keeping up to date of what's been going on with Alexis Sanchez on a regular basis. Now, Alexis Sanchez could be set to stay at Manchester United, like, I updated you earlier on, and the main explanation for this is because Sanchez is refusing to take a pay cut out of, his £500,000 a week wages, because obviously, when Sanchez was at Manchester United, he was on like 400 grand a week, potentially rising up to 500 grand a week based on, bonuses and image rights and that. And I did say, his wages were having a really bad effect on the football club. Now, obviously, Sanchez is out on loan with Inter Milan. He joined Inter Milan on loan last summer, and he's enjoyed a very, very difficult time at Inter Milan as Sanchez. I think he's only made 2 starts in the Serie A because, Sanchez, as been out with an ankle injury. But yeah, despite the fact that Sanchez is on loan at Inter Milan, we're still paying the vast majority of his wages. We're still paying him around £300,000 a week. But, with him refusing to take a pay cut, we're going to find it, hard, to find. We're going to find it hard, to get rid of him on a permanent transfer, because not many teams, if any teams, would be able to afford to pay his wages off. So probably Sanchez could stay at Man United and even see out the remainder of his contract, because he's under contract with Man United until 2022 is the player. Now, he did enjoy a difficult 18 months at Man United. He made 45 appearances in all competitions, and only managed 5 goals for the football club. And we got him from Arsenal back in January 2018 as part of a swap deal of Mkhitaryan going to Arsenal. Going to Arsenal and that. So, he could be, now set to return and stay at Manchester United, could Sanchez. But, like I mentioned, when we got him, I thought it'd have been an exceptional signing for us, reflecting on what he did in his 3.5-4 years with Arsenal. Also, too, he played under Pep Guardiola's guidance when he was younger at Barcelona. Also played with underneath when he was younger, did the player. But reportedly, with him refusing to take this pay cut, Man United may have to pay Sanchez around, just over £10 million. So, obviously, there's a lot of negativity coming out regarding Sanchez, because I think the vast majority of Man United fans don't want him back. So, that is very, very negative. But Solskjaer did say back in the January transfer window, that Sanchez would have been coming back this summer to prove everybody wrong and give him a second chance at the football club. So, we're going to find it hard now to find a permanent buyer. Unless Sanchez takes a wage cut. If Sanchez changes his mind and takes a wage cut, then, we can get rid of him on a permanent transfer. And us getting rid of him, it'd free up our wage bill completely. So, yeah, so Sanchez could be set to stay. Don't forget, recently West Ham have been in for him. West Ham, I think, have had negotiations with Alexis Sanchez's agent. So, that's the latest news on him. Now, I want to give you the latest news on Jadon Sancho. I've been talking with you guys about Jadon Sancho on a regular basis. So, according to recent reports, Jadon Sancho's transfer is agreed. Jadon Sancho's transfer is agreed to Manchester United. So, I do expect Manchester United to sign Jadon Sancho in the summer transfer window. I do expect us to sign Jadon Sancho in the summer transfer window. Nothing's been announced as yet, but I do expect us to sign Jadon Sancho by this summer. Obviously, Borussia Dortmund do remain ruthless over their valuation, despite, the coronavirus pandemic. Obviously, Borussia Dortmund are still not willing to let him go on the cheap. They still want, at least £100 million for the player. Probably Man United will end up paying around £120 million for the player. But Sancho has revealed that he's excited about the prospect of coming to Old Trafford. Another beneficial thing is as well that, he's got a very, very good friendship with Marcus Rashford. And Rashford recently revealed that he wants Jadon Sancho at Manchester United next season. Because Jadon Sancho comes in the summer. He'll be playing alongside Rashford and Anthony Martial. And, that'll be one of the club's best attacking trios. that I've seen for a while. You know, the best attacking trio I last saw is when we had Rooney, Ronaldo, Tevez back in 2008 and 2009 and that. But yeah, Sancho, you know, would complement our attacking line really, really well. No announcement's been made as yet. I don't think we've put the official bid in as yet. What it said last week, we didn't put the official bid in, but we've been in contact with Jadon Sancho's agent for around 2 months now. Like Fabrizio Romano broke that news out the other week, and Fabrizio Romano tends to be very reliable Italian journalist and that. But yeah, I think Man United are willing to pay what, you know, Borussia Dortmund are demanding for the player. We're willing to give Sancho around £400,000 a week. So that's going to also make him the highest paid player at the club as well as our most expensive signing. And we're also willing to offer Jadon Sancho the number 7. And like I said, you know, we've had a lot of good number 7s up and down the generations. You know, we obviously had Eric Cantona, you know, we had David Beckham as a number 7, we had Cristiano Ronaldo as a number 7. My recent number 7s though haven't been good, you know. Sanchez was obviously, you know, not good. Depay was very inconsistent under Louis van Gaal era, but I think Jadon Sancho, you know, would do very, very well in the number 7. I've got to be honest with you. But basically what it's recently said, it's, you know, stemming from what it said last week anyway, because the Irish Independent came out the other week and they said, you know, it's unofficially confirmed that Sancho will complete a transfer to Man United in the summer. There was reports yesterday coming out of the mainstream media saying that if Man United fail to get Champions League football, then, you know, Jadon Sancho will reject to move to Manchester United in the summer. But reiterate what I said on my recent videos, you know, we failed to get Champions League qualification for next season when the season does eventually resume, that is. We're going to find it hard to get the right calibre players in, and we're also going to find it difficult, on the other hand, you know, to convince our imperative players to stay. Because reflect on the size and the potential of this club, we should be in Champions League football, so let's just put that into the equation. But I'm very convinced that Manchester United can get the Champions League without a shadow of a doubt. But Sancho, you know, has, you know, endured, 3 years now, is it, you know, with Borussia Dortmund. Well, this is his 3rd season with Borussia Dortmund. Got to say, since his arrival in Germany, he has been a revelation, as Jadon Sancho. He's been a revelation, I've got to be honest with you. You know, Borussia Dortmund only paid around £7 or £8 million in from Man City. You know, he did enjoy he enjoyed a couple of years with Man City, but never really got assured any first team opportunities at Man City, and this is the main explanation why I left City to join Borussia Dortmund. And he's still got a contract with Dortmund until 2022 as Jadon Sancho. But, you know, he's played in the Premier League before, and that's also something else that's very beneficial. But, you know, Jadon Sancho's a player that can score goals, can create chances. His runs on and off the ball are very, very good, and he's predominantly a right winger, and Manchester United are in search for the right winger, and he's only at the age of 20 as Jadon Sancho, just recently turned the age of 20 as the player. But yeah, so in a way, we've convinced him to come to the club, but nothing has been announced as yet. Chelsea and Liverpool have been in for Sancho, don't forget. But, you know, Liverpool, he won't get in Liverpool's team week in, week out, because Liverpool have got Sancho, Firmino and Mane. You know, they'd have to sell one of them. Obviously, you know, Chelsea have been in there for him. But he's revealed that his preference is to move to Man United over Chelsea, and Madrid and PSG have also been in for the player. But Borussia Dortmund have come to accept the fact that Sancho wants to leave. Now, obviously, you know, they're going to be in the market looking for an adequate replacement for Jadon Sancho. Now, there's been talks of Ferran Torres from Valencia going to Borussia Dortmund. I think Borussia Dortmund are emerged as the favourites to sign him. It actually recently said that Man United were in for him. Also, too, Jude Bellingham's also on Borussia Dortmund's agenda. But I do believe, from my own perception, Jadon Sancho will be officially a Manchester United player in the summer, and I think he'll be our first signing in the summer transfer window and that. As you all know, our transfer budget has been revealed for the summer. We're going to be given around £150 million to spend. This is what Solskjaer's going to be given to spend on, you know, bringing more players in. You know, maybe £150 million is not enough. Obviously, 120 million on Sancho is then going to only leave us £30 million to spend. But obviously, you know, if we sell players in the summer, you know, we're going to, obviously, you know, our transfer budget, you know, will increase, if we can sell players in the summer and that. And this is what, Solskjaer will do. Let's put Odion Ighalo into the equation as well. Looking very, very likely, we're going to get Odion Ighalo on a permanent transfer, because Solskjaer recently made this admission. Odion Ighalo is going to cost us around £15 million, to get him on a permanent transfer. Say Odion Ighalo had been around 4 or 5 years younger than he is now. Say if he'd have been maybe 25, 26, something like that, he'd have probably been worth at least triple the £15 million. But reflect on his age, obviously, he'll only cost us £15 million with Ighalo, but he's enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. 4 goals in 3 starts for the football club, and like I've mentioned, Odion Ighalo is a good cover up to Marcus Rashford. He's an option of a different type of centre forward. So what I mean is he's totally comparison to our other attacking players, is Odion Ighalo. But at the moment we've got him on loan and we're like paying a third of his wages. But Ighalo has revealed that he wants to stay at the football club. But his parenting club, Shanghai Shenhua, they came out the other week and said they're willing to offer Odion Ighalo 400 grand a week, plus a 2-year contract extension to, convince him to turn down a permanent move to Manchester United. So Sancho for 120, get Odion Ighalo on a permanent transfer, that's 135. So that's then, just going to leave us £15 million to spend. Then obviously, that's not going to be enough for us to get, Grealish and that on the board. So then obviously, Manchester United will have to sell players in that. And, there's around probably 6 or 7 players that are expected to leave Man United in the summer transfer window. Now, the news on Paul Pogba is that, I think he has revealed that he wants to make a move to Real Madrid this summer, does Paul Pogba. He's forcing his way out of Manchester United, basically, because recent reports have said that he could take a fee for transfer regulation to buy out the remainder of his contract, I think for around £50 million. I think this is like a rule, what you can do, when you've done 3 years of your contract. As it stands at the moment, Pogba's got 2 years remaining on his contract at the club, 1 year with an option of a further year. Maybe Man United will trigger that 1-year extension on Paul Pogba's contract, but I think it recently did say Paul Pogba would be angered if we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract, and that we may be doing that, to stop his £100 million valuation dropping, because we revealed this summer that we want around £100 million for Paul Pogba. But that figure is totally comparison, to last summer's figure, because last summer we priced him out of the market and we said we wanted around £180 million. And, Real Madrid were not willing to meet this £180 million valuation. This is why his move to Madrid, didn't materialise. Because we priced him out of the market. But Pogba has got the same perception now as what he had last summer. He wants to leave, but he said last summer he was seeking for a new challenge, and he didn't only say he wanted to leave, he publicly admitted that he wanted to leave the football club to rejuvenate his career. Real Madrid, I've been long admirers of him, and Pogba was talking a lot last year about his dreams of playing for Madrid and, playing under Zinedine Zidane's guidance and that. But yeah, Real Madrid do want to get, Paul Pogba on the board. But yeah, I think his priority, is to definitely, join Real Madrid. Also, too, there's been talks about Pogba making a return back to Juventus, because Pogba did enjoy 4 good years in Turin with Juventus, but since he rejoined Man United from Juventus back in 2016, the vast majority of his performances with us have been totally comparison to his ones, with Juventus. And, there has been swap deals on the agenda, like I mentioned before. Obviously, there's been talks. Well, there was a lot of narratives coming out of the mainstream media last week of De Ligt coming to Manchester United as part of a swap deal of, probably going back to Juventus. I think a lot of United fans, would take De Ligt at the football club. He is a centre-half, is De Ligt, and I think Solskjaer, is keen on being a centre-half. And, we have got a lot of centre-halves in the team at the moment. We've got Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof that are our first choice centre-halves. You've got Bay and Tuanzebe that are our backup centre-halves. You've got Jones, who's another centre-half for us. Tuanzebe, he can play as a centre-half. But yeah, don't forget, last summer we was relentlessly linked with Matthias De Ligt, but we didn't get the player on the board. But there was quite a few central defenders on our agenda last summer. De Ligt, last summer he turned down moves to Man United, Barcelona, PSG. Also, Liverpool had inquired about his availability, but De Ligt did leave Ajax and he ended up joining Juventus. Juventus paid around 75 million euros for him, which equates to just over 67 million in pounds sterling and that. And, this is his first season with Juventus, and I've got to make an admission, I think he's enjoyed a very difficult, first season with Juventus as Matthias de Ligt. He's got a 5-year contract, by the way, with Juventus, but his performances at Juventus this season have been totally comparison to his ones when he was at Ajax. But I've got to be honest with you, he was a revelation during his time with Ajax, and de Ligt is only at the age of 20. But, there was a lot of rumours about that going on the other week. And de Ligt alongside Maguire in our back line, I think that, they would complement each other really, really well. I think if the Pogba and de Ligt swap deal was to materialise, obviously, there would be a fee involved, but probably not as much as £100 million. Or maybe there'd be no fee involved and it'd just be a straight swap deal between both players. But yeah, so I'd like Matthias de Ligt to come in. There was also talks a couple of weeks ago of, Ramsey coming to Manchester United as part of a swap deal of Pogba going back to Juventus and that. And I think Solskjaer did say he's an admirer of Aaron Ramsey. Obviously reflects on his pedigree in the Premier League because don't forget Aaron Ramsey endured 11 years with Arsenal, so he was a long-serving player for them. But if Pogba leaves, he'll go to Madrid. If he doesn't go to Madrid, he'll make a return back to Juventus. As you all know, Pogba's agent Mini Raiola has been, talking a lot since the turn of the year. He came out the other week, did Mini Raiola, and said, Paul Pogba's having a complicated time at Man United, and, he basically said that, he wants to take a great footballer to Real Madrid. And Mini Raiola, at least in the last couple of years, has been working very hard on trying to get his client a transfer away from Manchester United completed. But we've been very, very critical of his agent, Mini Raiola. Ed Woodward's, had quite a few negotiations with his agent, Mini Raiola, to try and resolve Paul Pogba's future, because his future is not fully resolved at the moment. Pogba does still want to leave Manchester United though, but United fans have got different perceptions on him. Pogba's only played 8 times this season for the club. His appearances have been limited due to his injuries. The good news is when the season does eventually resume, he should be back in action, should Paul Pogba and that, because, before he was stepping up his fitness regime. Don't forget as well, Paul Pogba endured a difficult time under the Mourinho era. Mourinho had a lot of bad disputes with the top players. I think the likes of Martial, Shaw and Pogba would have been probably gone by now if Mourinho would have still been at the football club. We had Pogba when he was younger, under the Alex Ferguson era, but the main explanation why we let him go is due to limited appearances. We let Pogba go on a free transfer and that. We let him go on a free transfer. But I think Pogba in his first season won the Europa League and the League Cup, was it, with Man United and that. So he's won some silverware here. But, he hasn't experienced, winning the Premier League with us or, the Champions League with us and that. And a player of his calibre, does want to, experience this. Definitely in that. But, yeah, so I think he'll go in the summer transfer window. If we get rid of Pogba, we'll get at least 100 million. It'll free up our wage bill completely because Pogba is on around 300 grand a week at the football club and that. And there has been a few players in our agenda who could replace him, like I mentioned, Saul Niguez. There's reports coming out last week saying, we've been in for him, but I'm very sceptical that we'll get Niguez from Atletico Madrid because Atletico Madrid want an astronomical amount. They want 130 odd million. That's, Saul Niguez's release clause, but Man United are only willing to pay up to £70 million, which is like half, than what they're demanding. And obviously, Maddison, he's still another player on our agenda. I'm sceptical that we'll get Maddison because I think Maddison will remain loyal at Leicester. In a way, we're seeing Maddison as an alternative to Grealish, but there's much more chance of us getting Grealish than there is James Maddison and that. But it is good, that Manchester United are making plans for the summer transfer window and that. Obviously, if Solskjaer is still Manchester United manager in the summer, it will be his 4th transfer window as Manchester United manager because so far he's endured 3 transfer windows at the club. In his first transfer window, Solskjaer didn't recommend anyone in, but in his 2 previous windows with the club, he has recommended 5 players in and he has spent £220 million at the club. And I've got to credit, Solskjaer for the players that he has recommended in so far. I think the only way Solskjaer will not be Man United manager, next season, and that's if, Manchester United fail to qualify for the Champions League. But I'll reiterate what I said before. I think Solskjaer, does deserve another season at least at Manchester United, because it is a transition period, and like Solskjaer revealed at the beginning of the year, he's hopeful, that we can get through this transition period. But Solskjaer, knows if he's given another season that he's got, many expectations to exceed at the football club. Yes, he has, in that many expectations to exceed. But Solskjaer has been at Man United. He's been at Man United now around 16 months. So he has been at the football club over the year, and he has been permanent Man United manager for officially a year now as Solskjaer. Yes, he has, in that. And like I said, it takes some managers, time to settle in. Obviously, Ferguson, he didn't win out in his first 4 years at the football club, but look what he did after not winning out in his first 4 years. One of the most decorated managers of all time, won the vast majority of our silverware under Ferguson. He did develop a hell of a lot of good young players. Solskjaer replicates him in that aspect because Solskjaer, he's obviously developing a lot of young players in that, and that's Solskjaer's transfer strategy, recruiting young players in. So yeah, but Solskjaer, is our 4th permanent manager since the Alex Ferguson era. Obviously, we've sacked 3 managers since the Ferguson era. We sacked David Moyes. He only enjoyed 8 or 9 months at the football club. Did David Moyes. Obviously, Ferguson, made the mistake, but it was the only mistake he ever made, was obviously ever recommending David Moyes in. We'd enjoyed our worst start to a Premier League season for 30 years under Moyes, but I'll reiterate it again, but this season we've enjoyed our worst start to a Premier League season for 30 years. Same sort of thing. I actually believe Solskjaer's record is worse or is as bad as David Moyes'. But yeah, so we got rid of David Moyes after like 8 or 9 months. Obviously, we knew he was never going to be the right manager for Man United, even though he did well at Everton. Obviously, Van Gaal, he came in, didn't work out under him, even though he did win the FA Cup with the club. And then obviously, Mourinho came in, didn't work out under Mourinho. And, Mourinho did enjoy, 2.5 years at Manchester United, and I've already given you the main explanations why it didn't work out under Mourinho. Is because he had bad disputes with the board. Basically the board weren't backing the signings that, he wanted to recommend into the football club, because like I mentioned before, Mourinho, when he was here, he wanted to bring Serge Milinkovic-Savic in. Now, recently we reignited our interest, like I updated you earlier on. Yeah, Koulibaly also wanted to bring him in, didn't get him in. Mourinho did recruit a lot of players in. I think he recommended like 11 players in at Man United, and taking into account now Solskjaer is inheriting the vast majority of them. But I just think we recommended Mourinho in too late. But Solskjaer, is inheriting players, that other managers have brought in. There's only 5 players that are his at the moment, Solskjaer. So let's just put that into the equation. We haven't really got the structure to keep sacking managers, because we're not really known for a sacking football club. But a lot of money's being spent at Man United. I think we've spent nearly £1 billion in the last 6 or 7 years on, recruiting new players in, and we've recruited over 30 odd players in, since the Alex Ferguson era and that. But we've been playing catch up for several years. Yes, we haven't that. We've been playing, catch up, since Ferguson's retirement. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013. That's 7 years ago now, the last time we won it in Alex Ferguson's last season. And, I think we can win it again. And I think if we can get the right calibre players in the summer, and, we can get around 3 or 4 signings in this summer. If we get around 3 or 4 signings in, yeah, I think we can challenge for the title next season. Perhaps maybe not win it, but I think we can challenge for the title next season. And that, like I said, Solskjaer, was a great player for Manchester United for 11 years. He flourished under Ferguson's guidance. He is inexperienced as a manager. That's an element of concern, but the longer Solskjaer remains in the Man United job, he's going to be gaining more experience. By the way, as well, Solskjaer, has come out and said, this is stemming from Sky Sports, that footballers are an easy target, and it's unfair, the criticism on, the players in that. This is what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has said. Now, as you all know, football is suspended. Football's been suspended since the 9th of March, so it's almost, I think, a month now that football has been suspended, and it is suspended until April the 30th, the earliest. Now, like I updated you, well, I've been updating you quite regularly, haven't I, recently? The Premier League held a meeting last week to establish plans for the remainder of the season, and they've actually, is the season going to resume in June or whatever? But the last time I read about it, the Premier League and that didn't give an exact date or month when it was going to resume. It just basically said it will resume when it's safe and when it's appropriate to do so. And this is what it actually said in that. Obviously, it said the Premier League do face a financial penalty of £762 million if the season doesn't resume, with TV contract rebates and that of Sky and BT and international rights and stuff like that. And it also said, a lot of teams are set to lose millions in transfer revenues, and top flight clubs could lose like 1.137 billion. And a lot of teams are under financial pressure anywhere due to this coronavirus. But I do believe, the season will resume because it has been extended indefinitely. The UEFA president has confirmed even if the season wasn't to resume, Liverpool would still be handed the Premier League title. Because for me, I hate Liverpool, but they cannot be denied the title. They just can't be. They only need 2 wins as it stands now to, end their 30-year drought and win their first ever Premier League title, because Liverpool are 25 points clear. But there was rumours, saying that Liverpool could be denied the title. The teams that are in the relegation zone, they could be, they could get another season in the Premier League. But if the season wasn't to resume, then, I think it'd implicate, the leagues. It'd change a lot of the context of the leagues in that. So it would be interesting to see what would happen, if the season, wasn't going to resume. But definitely, when the season does resume, it will be played behind closed doors. And that's one thing I can definitely note short with you guys. But I don't think Liverpool have got anything to worry about. We all want to see football back. We've missed football. We all want to see it back. But like I mentioned, public health is more of a priority than football. That's one thing I can definitely assure with you and that. Football managers, have had that virus. Quite a few football players, have been tested positive for it. Boris Johnson obviously got taken to hospital, was it Sunday night, and now he's in intensive care and that, the Prime Minister. So, there's a lot of people, it's killed a lot of people, it's killed tens and thousands of people as this virus. And I think the saga's been going on for now 5 months, is it, or something like that. Given the news yesterday about Guardiola's mum dying, so it's very, very bad news. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care, God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.